guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Histories with Belle, and I'm Belle. So, the weather is icky, it is dark, it is raining, and we're going back into quarantine. So I thought I would curl up here with my cup of tea and talk to you about something that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for a few months now. So quite a few months ago, there was this great exhibition at the Mosgard Museum close to Aarhus in Denmark, and it was about Pompeii and Herculaneum. And I managed to go on pretty much the last day or the next to last day due to quarantines and all that stuff. It was obviously quite difficult, but being a classical archaeologist, not being able to travel, obviously I had to try and get there. And so today it is not about tattooing. I know I promised more videos on that, and that'll come too, but today will be more of like a vlog type thing. Alright? So, in 79 AD, the volcano Vesuvius erupted. The pyroclastic material, the lava, the ash, buried several cities. The most famous ones are probably Pompeii and Herculaneum, and that is what this exhibition was all about. So archaeologically, these two cities are fantastic, or scientifically, I suppose these two cities are fantastic. It's what we say, they were like frozen in time. And that is not entirely accurate, because this eruption happened over a period of time. And people were obviously scared, they didn't know what was going on. So calling it a complete snapshot is not entirely right, but so much of the cities was preserved within the pyroclastic material that we have been able, after many years of excavation, to see an actual Roman city the way it was, with houses and everything. And about 5 years ago, I got the opportunity for the first time to go both to Pompeii and Herculaneum and see these cities for real. And it is such an amazing experience to be there, to be able to walk within an actual Roman city. I mean, when you're a nerd like me, it is kind of undescribable. It is almost as good as traveling back in time. And if you get the chance, I just totally recommend that you go there. Short of that, this exhibition was really well done. Now, I'm a complete nerd, and I'm really old school when it comes to museums. I am not a big fan of interactive or things like that, but they had done a great job in my mind. So I was very excited to go there, obviously, and I enjoyed myself immensely. I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I did take some pictures and some video footage, and that is really why we're here today. I wanted to share that with you, tell you a little bit about what we saw and what was there, and if you get a chance to go, do it. And also go visit the museum in Naples and see some of the other finds from those cities. It is really worth it if you're interested in history. Alright, that is all I have to say here right now. I think we go over to some pictures and videos, and I will see you at the end of the video again. So we're inside the Pompeii exhibition in Mosgard Museum. I'm not even sure I'm allowed to film, so I'll keep it quiet and just take a little look-see. Alright, so here we're walking into the exhibition, and we can kind of see that what they've done here is to sort of recreate a small city. As we come in here, it also becomes very clear that it is a harbor town where we are walking around, and we can see artifacts that are typical for what you could find in a town like this. For example, the amphora, which you would have used for transporting, for example, oil and garum. You see other household artifacts, plates, pots, pans, typical household items. And as we keep on walking, in a second here, we'll go past a small fast food place where you could get pre-prepared meals for low prices, and meals that were of course flavored with garum, as I mentioned before. It was a fish sauce that was used especially for flavoring food, and it was very popular back then. So these places were called thermopolium, and they were kind of the epicenter of Roman street life. And the word itself actually means something like a place where something hot is sold. Alright, here we are looking around the more kind of living area, the housing area. And there were four main types of housing in these cities. There was an atrium house, which was the most common style, and it had a large open room at the center, and that was the atrium. There were the peristyle houses, where the peristyle was the center of the house, and it's kind of a courtyard formed by columns. The third type was the insulae, and it's kind of like an apartment building type thing, where many families lived, and the apartments could vary in size, of course. And then there is the last house, and that is a villa. And in this style of house, they were usually more in the suburbs. That was where the rich people, the really fancy people, would live. They would have them as summer houses, for example. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the whole exhibition, the whole little town is also like painted, and it is painted much in the styles of Pompeii and Herculaneum. And of course, we know that these cities were painted because there's so much that has been preserved. For example, frescoes, etc. And you can also see some graffiti, which is something these towns are pretty famous for as well. Oh, that is terrifying. Like scully fish. Ah, and they are back. The eruption of Vesuvius affected the two towns, Pompeii and Herculaneum, in very different ways. So there were two main stages of the eruption. The first phase was a huge column of volcanic ash, gas, rocks, debris that shot in the air and then came raining down. And due to the wind that day, pretty much most of that stuff went down over Pompeii, which was the larger of the two cities. It injured the people, it trapped them in their houses, and it obviously also caused a lot of buildings to collapse, so there are actually no houses preserved over the first floor in Pompeii. This phase did not come to Herculaneum, and in theory, that would have allowed the people of Herculaneum to escape. And the second stage was fast-flowing rivers of gas and ash that came cascading down from the side of the volcano with really high speed. So Pompeii was buried under about 4 to 6 meters, and Herculaneum under 25 meters of ash. And this made a big difference in the excavating of these two cities, and resulted in Pompeii being found and excavated much easier than Herculaneum. And when you visit Herculaneum today, you basically go down into a crater, like it's still really far down, whereas Pompeii is kind of level. There's also a difference in the remains that were found in these two cities. So from Pompeii, we have these plaster casts, and they were found as holes in, or air pockets, I guess, in the ash layer, and filled up with with plaster. And from Herculaneum, we have more than 300 skeletons that are preserved. And I mean, it's really sad, because in Herculaneum, when it was first excavated, it was believed that most of the people of the city had actually gotten away until they got to the boathouses, where then the burnt remains of so many people were actually found huddled together. So it's a really tragic story. Now here are some pictures from when I was over in Italy visiting these places. Here you see me above Pompeii, and you can see that there's not a lot left in the height of the houses, right? So you can clearly see that this is Pompeii. Here we have a recreation of a peristyle garden, and you see the rows of columns that kind of frame it. And it's very beautifully done after sketches and things that have actually been preserved and found. And you can also see the colors. Here is one of the original plaster casts from Pompeii. So this was actually a real person once that got burned to death. And here is, I mean, kind of the coolest but also the saddest thing. This is actually a cast of a dog that was found chained up, and this is one of the most famous mosaics, Cave Canem, beware of the dog. And yeah, maybe that was the dog. So something that Pompeii is also really famous for here is its brothels, and here I am actually lying in the bed of one of these brothels. Not the most comfortable for sure, but hey, when the need strikes, right? Pompeii is also, or both of these cities, but maybe foremost, Pompeii is famous for its erotic art and all of its phalluses, the penises, and mostly they were a fertility symbol, obviously, and you can see them in a lot of different places in town. And as for the erotic art, well, it is beautiful for sure. Some of it was humorous, some of it was maybe more serious, some of it may have been parts of brothels. There's a lot of interesting thoughts and ideas about that. And if you want to read more about that stuff, also just let me know, because I have a lot of fun reading tips. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed that little tiny walkthrough of the exhibition. And I also just want to recommend the book that I got at the exhibition. It is called Bound for Disaster, Pompeii and Herculaneum. And for being a museum book, an exhibition book, it is actually really good and shows you a lot of the things that you can find in the exhibition in these cities that has been found there. And yeah, I just really want to recommend it. I'll put a link in the description box for where you can possibly still get this book. It is definitely worth taking a look at if you want something that is not entirely sciencey, but kind of just fun and interesting, and has really nice pictures if you're interested in the artwork. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little vlog type history thing, and yeah, please like and subscribe. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And yeah, feel free to share and comment and all of those fun things. And I will see you again soon for some more tattoo history. Bye guys.